The Dravik swarm descended on Europa Prime at dawn. A human colony, frozen plains, domed cities, mineral harvesters, beautiful, fragile, defenseless. The colonists barely had time to send out a distress call before the sky turned black with metallic wings. The invaders didn't come for territory. They came for harvest. To them, human blood was a delicacy, an evolutionary nutrient that enhanced their regenerative cycles. Their war priest had declared it sacred, the crimson elixir of lower species. Inside Command Dome 4, Governor Liang watched as her screens filled with static. The planetary defense grid burned out in seconds. The Dravik weapons tore through steel and concrete like paper. She whispered a single word into the recorder. "Remember us. They didn't leave survivors. They didn't leave bodies." When the Dravik were done, they gathered in orbit, vast pulsing ships that glistened with the spoils of the massacre. The lead warlord, Ka Roth, stood before his throne of living bone, raising a vial of scarlet fluid. Their world was cold, he hissed to the gathered commanders. But their blood? Oh, it burns. Laughter echoed through the fleet. The Dravik were predators of legend. Entire civilizations had fallen to them. And humanity, they believed, would be no different. Another prey species to be drained, catalogued, and forgotten. Ka Roth raised his chalice and drank. Then he smiled with teeth like knives. "To Earth," he said. "We'll bleed their homeworld next." The Feast of Arrogance weeks later, the galactic core pulsed with rumors. The Dravik claimed they had annihilated another human world, a colony of 20,000 souls, extinguished. And Earth? Earth said nothing, no fleets mobilized, no threats broadcast, no ambassadors recalled. The humans simply went silent. The swarm interpreted that silence as fear. To them, humanity was a minor species, technologically advanced, yes, but naive. Bound by treaties, ethics, and restraint, they believed Earth's united Terran Council would protest, mourn, and move on. Ka Roth's war priests made trophies of human helmets. They wore the skulls of dead soldiers as armor, adorning their ships with banners painted in human red. In their halls, they toasted to the death of Earth's spirit. "See how quiet they are," said one commander. "They weep behind their walls." "They do not weep," Ka Roth replied. "They rot," and so they continued the hunt. Small human outposts went dark. Merchant fleets vanished in deep space. The Dravik raiders boasted of each kill, broadcasting the screams of captured crews across open frequencies. Still, Earth said nothing. For months, the galaxy watched the Dravik feast on humanity's edge worlds. And in every port, every relay station, one question spread. Had Earth finally broken? The silence before the storm. When the first signs came, they were small, almost invisible. A single Dravik scout vessel failed to report in. Then 3. Then an entire raiding flotilla went dark. The swarm assumed system malfunctions, navigational errors, or rebel interference. Then came the transmissions, faint, distorted, buried under static. Unknown contact approaching at 0.2 AU. Energy signatures off the charts. They're not... Wait, that's... Silence. Ka Roth's war priests gathered again. The reports were scattered, contradictory. A new fleet, vast and coordinated, was appearing along the periphery of Dravik space. Ships of human design, but unlike anything catalogued before. Their hulls emitted no signals. Their drives left no wake. Their weapons were unknown. Ka Roth dismissed it at first. Earth has no such fleet. They lack the numbers. They lack the fire. But deep within his command ship, his advisors whispered uneasily. "Warlord, the humans have not spoken since Europa Prime. They have not pleaded. That is, not natural." For the first time, the swarm felt uncertainty. And then the message came. A single Terran transmission, broadcast across the entire Dravik network. No encryption, no disguise, just a human voice. Calm, cold, deliberate. "This is Earth Command. To the Dravik swarm, we received your message. We heard your laughter. Now, hear ours." Then the channel went dark. The awakening of Earth across the Sol system. The silence broke. Shipyards once dormant flared to life. Orbital foundries ignited. The deep space docks of Titan opened, revealing silhouettes that blotted out the stars. The Terran Retribution Fleet, a name whispered in secret archives believed to be myth, came alive. 200 dreadnoughts, thousands of escorts, and carriers older than recorded memory, rebuilt in secrecy for a day humanity prayed would never come. Earth's oceans burned with launch fire. Mars trembled under the roar of engines. Luna's dark side pulsed with energy. Ancient bunkers awakening from centuries of slumber. Every soldier recalled, every veteran rearmed, every oath renewed. The High Admiral of the fleet, Sarah Vance, stood before a silent assembly of commanders aboard the flagship ISS Vengeance Eternal. She didn't shout. She didn't need to. They spilled human blood, she said, her voice cold as the void. So we will give them oceans of their own. The command was simple. Burn the swarm. Within a day, the Terran Armada folded space. The night sky burns. The Dravik first saw the humans arrive above Carthun, a breeding world, densely populated, defended by a planetary shield capable of withstanding any known bombardment. The sky tore open. It wasn't a fleet that emerged. It was a storm, waves of Terran warships, their hulls dark, their formations silent, their guns locked. The Dravik sensors overloaded just trying to count them. Karoth's generals screamed for orders, but by then it was too late. The humans didn't send a warning. They didn't demand surrender. They simply fired. Kinetic rods the size of skyscrapers fell from orbit. Entire cities ceased to exist before the first siren sounded. The planetary shields flared and shattered. Dravik cruisers tried to rise from the atmosphere, only to be torn apart mid-ascent by precision strikes from rail platforms 1,000,000 kilometers away. One by one, the Dravik's defenses crumbled. On the surface, the swarm armies, vast, insectoid legions, looked to the sky and saw it burning. The humans descended in silence, their dropships black as oil, their weapons gleaming like morning suns. They came not as soldiers. They came as executioners. Retribution unbound. The war spread like wildfire. Every system the Dravik held, every stronghold, every temple world was marked by Terran fire. Human dreadnoughts moved through space like gods of vengeance. Their railguns cracked moons. Their plasma lances carved continents. Where Dravik fleets assembled, humanity's ships appeared from folded dimensions, striking with precision and fury, unmatched by any known race. The Dravik called for aid. None came. Their allies abandoned them. Their slaves revolted. For centuries, the galaxy had feared the swarm. Now it feared the silence that followed them, the silence of Terran justice. Broadcasts of the battles reached neutral worlds. They saw human marines walking through cities reduced to glass, unmoved, methodical. They saw Terran captains watching through holoscreens as enemy fleets begged for mercy that would not come. Karoth tried to flee. His flagship, the Maw Eternal, jumped across 3 sectors, pursued by a single human vessel, the Vengeance Eternal. When they finally cornered him above the dying star of Kaldris, Karoth opened a channel, desperation breaking through the arrogance. "You cannot destroy us all," he hissed. "You are mortal. Your rage will fade." Admiral Vance appeared on screen, her face half lit by the glare of a burning world. "No," she said, "but yours ends now," and with a single command. The Vengeance Eternal fired. The Dravik flagship imploded in silence, folding into itself, consumed by a gravity well-engineered for one purpose: to erase. The fall of the swarm, within a month. The Dravik were no more. Their empire, 12,000 worlds, 20 trillion lives, reduced to ashes. Their genetic archives burned, their queens executed, their breeding chambers vaporized. The few who survived drifted among the stars, broken, starving, diseased. They whispered that the humans had unleashed something older than war, something purer. Vengeance refined into art. Across the galaxy, worlds that once mocked Earth now bowed in silence. Treaties were rewritten overnight. Empires swore never to cross human borders again. In the archives of the Galactic Council, one entry appeared without signature or timestamp. It read only, "They came for our blood. They took it. But in every drop, we carried fire. And when we returned, they choked on it." Epilogue. The whisper that remained years later, among the ruins of Dravik space. Scavenger ships moved cautiously. They searched for technology, for relics, for anything the humans hadn't already erased. They found only silence and warnings. On the shattered remains of the Maw Eternal, scorched into the hull by heat and radiation, they found human words burned deep into the metal. "We are patient. We are kind. Until we are not." The scavengers reported what they saw to the Council. The report was sealed immediately. The file classified, "Do not engage humanity, ever." Yet the whispers persisted. In taverns across the Orion Spur, in the shadow markets of the Rim, and in the halls of the greatest empires, stories circulated. Of fleets that appeared without a sound, of worlds that vanished overnight, of the planet whose people avenged themselves not with rage, but with purpose. They said humanity had returned to peace. They said Earth had gone quiet again. But those who had seen the vengeance of Saul knew better, because in the quiet of deep space, when the stars flickered wrong and static filled the comms, every alien captain remembered the legend, the story that burned itself into the bones of the galaxy. The invaders wanted Earth's blood and choked on their own.